Welcome to another edition of From the Bleachers Sports Show. It's me, your buddy old pal Tom. I hope everything's treating you guys well. And here we are, talking about NWA Powerrr. Man, past week's episode, I gotta say, I'm a big fan of. Like I have been of the prior episodes. This week's episode, though I'm a fan, and I say that because I am not, the hour went by. It wasn't where, I was looking at the clock to see, it just kind of, it kept you entertained, it kept you engaged. I'll be honest with you, that first segment there when you had Eli Drake, Colt Cabana, you had Nick Aldis, James Storm, all these men, it started off where, addressing what Nick Aldis said from last week's segment, that, he's watching everyone to see who deserves that title, and they got to prove themselves before they get a title opportunity. And there are a couple of people that he has his eye on. But they got to earn that right. And, it starts off this segment where James Storm says that he doesn't have to prove anything. He deserves that shot. Now, this is what I'll say about this criticism, kind of. And this is just me nitpicking, my 2 cents. It might just be me again. But James Storm, almost pursuit of that NWA title, has made that beautiful national title seem like it's a little bit irrelevant. That national title should be special. He should want to be the national champion. I don't know, it seems like NWA is kind of like treating this title like a #1 contender spot or golden ticket. I don't know, I just get that. Now listen, you might be saying to me, listen, that's the same thing with an intercontinental title. That's the next step up. I get it. I get what you're saying. I totally agree. But for the most part, a lot of people have just been introduced to this title. A lot of people are seeing it for the first time. A lot of people weren't watching wrestling back then when the NWA was in its prime. So for a lot of people, when they see this product first time around, might say to themselves, listen, James Storm just got the belt and he's just been your champion. He wants to move on to something else. Yeah, that's just me, my 2 cents. I've noticed that there's really, at least maybe I can't decipher any clear baby face for the most part. Any clear heel. It seems to be all just guys that want to fight, and there's nothing wrong with that. For the majority of these characters, I can't decipher who's face, who's heel. Now I know, guys like the Dawsons, that tag team, that's to me a heel. A team like, when you have Storm, he's a face. Okay, but when you have guys like Aldis, James Storm, Ken Anderson, Aldis, James Storm, Eli Drake, are they face or are they heel? Aldis, it's just like, I'm not able to put it all together yet. And, and I guess that's okay. Because the stories will progress, and then we will truly know these characters. You know, one thing that, another thing that if I could just kind of nitpick here, and I get it, it's only an hour show, but one of the main storylines from last week was about Tim Storm. Tim Storm continuing. That was a big part of the show last week. But we don't have any follow-up on Tim Storm this week. Kind of like, you know, storyline, just a continuality, just to continue the story. And again, I get it. I get it. It's an hour show. There's only so much you could fit in an hour show. I'll skip back to, you know, that opening segment right now where they made it, you know, 3-on-3. Team Aldous, Team Storm. I liked it, and the fact that they made it meaningful. Usually these 3-on-3s aren't really meaningful. They're just put together for the heck of it. With this one, with this 3-on-3, it was put together for meaning. It meant something, and I like that. Josephus, I look at him, okay, and he was on this week's taping. Here's something I don't understand. I don't understand why Josephus, who had heat, you know, has been knocked down so far. He had a weird psychotic violence type of thing going with his spiritual advisor. Now he's getting his butt kicked every week in under 3 minutes. You know, I don't get it. A small nitpick, okay? And just to kind of go, or just a recommendation, just to kind of go with that old school feel, being petty. But Dave Marquez, I think, maybe could say the talent's weight and their hometowns when introducing them. Yes, I know, very petty, but why? But it adds to that old school feel. You know, and Josephus, you know, he came off like a legitimate threat in his initial feud with Tim Storm, just going back to him. And actually did, I think, Bray Wyatt's original creepy cult gimmick better than Bray Wyatt was able to do it in WWE. Now it just seems like they kind of turned him into a comedy act. What they should have maybe been doing, and I know it's still time, maybe been building on the Kingdom of Josephus thing, building on that. So far, my criticism is they maybe have dropped the ball on Josephus a tad. But listen, this is only, what, 4 or 5 tapings in, however many tapings we're in. You know, just my criticism. Aaron Stevens, love it. This guy has everyone in the palm of his hand. They're saying, you know, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. And it was actually good seeing this guy wrestle this week. He made mention to that stunt double character on WWE. You know, Captain Moore. This guy has just so much charisma, and I don't know what happened with him in the WWE. Hey, that's fine. He's in NWA. I just think that they might have dropped the ball on him. Definitely, I think they dropped the ball on him. In Aaron Stevens. Good to see that he's in. Love this. You had the debut of Thunder Rosa, I believe. They reintroduced her very simply. Was there to shake hand, and no shake was given. I'm interested in that character. She's unique. She's the only one that has her face painted. Interesting to see how they present her and what she will be all about. That's just that's just a few thoughts there that come into mind from this past week's episode. Just my few criticisms, my few thoughts here and there. But again, NWA Powerrr. Again, between NWA Powerrr and AEW, if I had to choose right now as my top, and you don't have to choose. Why should you? 'Cause that's the beauty of wrestling now. You got so much to watch. But I would probably tell you that NWA Powerrr is my number one, my go-to right now. So I hope all is well, and I look forward to speaking to you guys very, very soon.